Hey, it's been a while. I'm pretty sure you guys are wondering where I've been. And to be honest, I haven't really gone anywhere. I've just been zeroing in on making the Just a Reaper comic. I think last week I recently finished chapter 4. And when the New Year's hit, I made a dedication that I wanted to finish the whole volume. The For a while, I already thumbnailed everything out to be around 116 pages. I got right now I am working on the second half of chapter 5. I got the first 10 pages done. Now all I have to do is work on the second 10 pages. And I was debating whether or not I should make it into one long 40-page chapter 5 or just split that into 5 and 6. I was really debating on whether to just split it or just make it one whole thing. And to the credit of making it one whole thing is I don't have to draw two covers. But to split everything into one, like 5 and 6, it helps me mentally to compartmentalize my workflow, because I do everything in parts. I start with the sketching, the thumbnailing, then I do the digital sketching, then I go do the digital stuff. But when I was working on chapter 4, I noticed how slow the process was when I did the thumbnails, and then I would just sketch everything digitally. I remember when I was on vacation, I was at a cruise, and I brought my laptop. Not my laptop. I'm sounding like my parents calling my iPad a laptop. I'm pretty sure everybody with a parent understands that I'm an older parent. I don't want to disrespect my parents or whatever, but an older generation calling technologies what they aren't, like calling a laptop a iPad and vice versa, or calling a Switch a Nintendo or whatever. But I digress. But I was doing art on my iPad. I was doing the digital sketches, and I remember I don't know, I just felt like you ever get that feeling when you think this is a waste of time? I don't know. I got tired of redrawing what I already drew on the thumbnail, and I told myself after this chapter, I'm just going to paste everything on my on the I'm forgetting my words. Paste everything on the digital canvas when I go into Clip Studio. Draw the thumbnail first, scan it in, because I'm gonna scan it anyway. Because at the end of every chapter now, end of every book, I want to include the thumbnails as part of the art gallery. If you bought a book digitally or physically, at the end of my book I have the author's notes, like giving a brief commentary of my thoughts and opinions of the workflow of that chapter. And I would also have like an art gallery telling the development of the characters. And now I want to include the thumbnails so people can play a little game to spot the difference between the finished product and the work in progress that led up to the finished product. And when the new year came around, I decided to just draw directly from the thumbnail, and I realized this is a lot faster. Not only that, I had the added development of working 2 pages together, right? Instead of like working on 1 page at a time, since I work on everything as if it's a double page spread, and then I just divide the pages when it gets to the time. I don't know if this, I'm sorry, I'm pretty sure this is probably going to sound boring to a lot of people because it's just me being hyper obsessive about the craft. And it's fine. Like, hopefully I'm entertaining. This is entertaining enough for people who just want to be like, I don't even know what the thumbnail or titles of this video is going to be. I just drank 8 ounces of coffee, and I'm just like, I need to make a video ASAP. But here's some things to look forward to, though, right? I want to get back working on my Substack. Wait, I have music in the background. Let me turn that down a little bit so it doesn't impede in my concentration. I can't work in complete silence, I suppose. A little mental tick. Anyway, um, yeah, I want to get back to working on the Substack. Just doing stuff like this, but writing wise, like having a checkup saying, "Hey, this is what I'm doing. This is da 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 da." Like I wanted to do that last night, but I was too busy playing Advance Wars on the Game Boy Advance, and I haven't written anything in a while, and that showed me how I can only be so disciplined in so many different things, because I noticed that I'm very disciplined when it comes to drawing, making the comics. When it comes to like anything else, I need to stop saying like. Hey, this is my work in progress. This is a work in progress, right? But when it comes to working on anything else, it's short bursts of energy, and if I don't see what I want in a certain amount of time, let's give it like a week, 2 weeks, maybe even a month, I drop it. First, I think about, is this going to be fruitful in the long run? Will I get the results that I want to see if I continue going forward? And I think about that every time when I would post my comics on any different website. I'm pretty sure if you look deep into my channel, you would see a playlist that talks about how to market your comic online. And all of that was me going on any website that you could post images on, and I would just post my comics there. And I would have a 10-minute spiel talking about my interactions with it, how I felt about the algorithms, the reception of it, and it all pretty much spawned off of me getting 700,000 views on the first chapter of Just a Reaper on Reddit. And I don't really post on Reddit anymore, mostly because of the whole community nature of it. And I'm not a community guy. I'm more of a person that if I don't see myself as a vital part of a community, I do not care to be a part of it. And that may sound self-centered. I don't know. Well, I don't really care. Unfortunately, it's more of I've been around groups where I'm not a vital part, and when I have ideas, it's not respected. I guess that's where it all comes from, right? And that happened to me enough times to the point where I'm very adverse to a lot of community-centric things. I'm very much, lack of a better word, a transactional business-minded type of guy, where if somebody wants to be around me, I'm thinking, okay, what do you want from me? Not even not even in a selfish way. It's, I have value, and I'm willing to give value in terms of friendship, in terms of advice, in terms of I see myself in you and I see you struggling, and I want to alleviate that suffering. And if I do not sense that, or if that statement isn't explicitly clear, then I'm not interested. I'm not interested. It's probably why I hate small talk a lot. Though the dreaded messages that people would get in DMs, that's just hi. The dreaded hi message. Nobody likes hi. You know what I mean? It's like, what do you want, right? What do you want? Or good video. I'm just kidding. If you want to say good video, I appreciate it. I like it. Thank you. I appreciate it. I've dropped a like and a follow. All right. Oh, just drop my stylus. I was in the middle of working on my comic on the Just a Reaper. I'm right now, like I said earlier, I'm almost done with chapter 5. I think I have around six pages, maybe less than that, until chapter 5 is done. And I think I might go with, actually, no. After I'm done with the first 20 pages, I'm probably going to give myself a week because I've been crazy. I've been working on this thing for like, what, 9 hours at most every day for the past couple of weeks, past like 2 weeks or so. Right? And I don't feel fatigued. I get fatigued when, actually, I did feel fatigued, actually. And how I solved that is thinking my approach to it. Because I remember when I would tell people I would work on 4 comics at the same time, and they say, that's insane, you're a crazy person, how do you even do that? And I remember what my, back when I worked at Spectrum, if people who don't know what Spectrum is, which is, what neither here or there, it's a cable company. I used to sell cable for about a month, and I had my manager working behind me. I was like shadowing my manager, and I remember him asking me, how do you eat an elephant? And I was like, what do you mean? How do you eat an elephant? How do you eat an elephant? I don't know if people eat elephants. And he said, 1 bite at a time. And I was like, oh, interesting. So I take that approach with everything. So when I have this gargantuan idea, like a comic that's around 100 pages, 113 pages, right? I think, how can I do that one step at a time? Before, when I was working on the first book of Purgatory Academy, I was just doing page after page after page, working on it in chronological order. Now, how I go about my comic pages, I used to do it in steps. I used to do the line art. I would thumbnail everything. I would the entire chapter. I would line art all the entire chapter. Then do the flats, lettering, X, Y, and Z, speech bubbles. With Just a Reaper, I do custom speech bubble. Well, quote unquote custom speech bubbles. It's just more engonable and it's like octagons or like it. Wait, what's the term? What's the mathematic term where it has like all these like an undisclosed? I think it's an engon, like an engon speech bubble to make everything a little bit more angular. And it gives it a little bit more its own little flavor. And I would go through all that, and I noticed I was getting tired going through that process again and again and again. So every time almost every day, usually every day, I have a habit after working on the comic, I would just write. I would journal a little bit, and it wouldn't be like a whole like page. It wouldn't be like a whole like 1,000-page essay or whatever. It would mostly be thinking about, what do I feel after working on it? How am I comfortable with the progress? How can I get better? Do I know I can get better? It's kind of like speedrunners. I would watch a lot. I would say speedrunners as an example, because I would watch a lot of speedrunning videos. And back in a couple of months ago, I would have something on YouTube to lull me to sleep, and I would watch a Summoning Salt videos, just listening to speedrunners, listening to like the history of speedrunning of a certain game. And there's a formula to it. There's there's a cycle when it comes to how Summoning Salt does the narrative of his speedrunning videos. And usually after a speedrunner finishes a run, they always tell themselves, yeah, I can do better than this. There's something that I messed, like there's always a turn that I can always take to shave off a little bit more time. And that's how I feel right now. I'm feeling like, how can I speedrun making a comic by myself? And honestly, I don't really need to do that, because I'm putting all these self-imposed deadlines for in the grand scheme of things, no real reason at all other than I want to push myself. I want to tell these stories. And for a while, I've been very slow when it comes to comic production, because I've adopted a mindset of why why push myself making more of a story, making more of my comic, make more content. I know like pure-hearted artists are gonna cringe when they hear their art being synonymous with content. But I feel like I have like two sides of my own brain. I have like the creative side, and then I have the analytical side. With the creative side, I want to put all of my heart and my passion and the messages that I want to put in my stories that makes it so engaging when I talk about it into it, and find all these cool different techniques of how to tell that story, getting the audience from point A to point B of the message and the art and the X, Y, and Z, right? And then I have the analytical side that says this is just a product. This like this thing that I spent hundreds of hours on. Yeah, it's no more. Like kill the ego, strip it of the ego, and say it's no better than a tweet, right? And I said this is it. Just put a stamp on it, push it out. How am I going to get more people to see it? I was around a circle that had this idea of you need to imitate the best of the comic or graphic novel industry, and that would be like manga. What does the manga people do? They create chapters, like 20-page chapters every week, usually by themselves. And hey, if you want to survive, you have to adopt the production of those people. That makes sense on the purpose, right? That makes sense on the surface, makes sense of the purpose. Hey, I'm trying to get better at speaking. Give me some time. Give me some time. And that makes sense on the surface. However, I can't do that because I don't really know how to get paid posting my comic online. I know how I can do that, but garnering the audience that will say, I'm willing to support you, X, Y, and Z. That's difficult. I don't know. That's difficult. That's a little bit more difficult than doing it in person. And that's why with this New Year's resolution that I have, I know we're like in February. Oh, jeez. Hey, fun fact. I think we're 10% over with the year of 2025. How does that make y'all feel? Comment in the comment section below. How does it make you feel that we're 10% over with 2025? It's gonna go by. It's nothing but downhill from here. Enjoy it. But with that being said, I noticed going my New Year's resolution is just going outside a lot more. Because last year I was just doing what I did with that course of just how to market your comic online. I was trapped in my cave, learning about algorithms day in, day out, how to do X, how to do Y, how to do Z, and then I would go to like this circle and say, "Hey guys, this is what I've learned." And then the people in that circle would say, "Listen, dog, I can't trust you because your numbers aren't up. How can you say do X, Y, and Z when you don't have 4 figures of a following, when you don't have X, Y, and Z following?" And all these ideas aren't even mine. They're just ideas that I got from other people. And I'm just saying, and I'm telling it to and I'm distributing that information for free because I like the plight of the artist. I like the plight of the creative, just in general, right? And I'm just giving that free game to people, and people don't appreciate what's free. So, and because they just see my appearance on the internet, and they say that you're on to nothing, little bro. And it is what it is. It is what it is. I guess I'm done helping people. I guess that's just how it is. That's just how it ends. I'm in my selfish arc.